Hello everyone, and welcome to Dandelion Lessons here on Patreon. And boy, we have had a whirlwind of a couple days. I have been cleaning my butt off because my daughter is expecting a baby. She's due, it's a little girl, my grandbaby, and she's due October 2nd, and we are having a baby shower for her here at our house this weekend. And so I've been sprucing up my house. And this is the cleanest it'll ever be, so I wanted to show you. It's usually not this clean. So this is my studio and also my husband's office. He's a writer, freelance writer, and also writes for the local newspaper a lot. And we share this space. And so this is my studio, so all of my stuff. It's a lot of stuff. This is my desk, my writing desk, and my bookshelf. More storage. This is my work table. And this is where I do the videos. I have my light set up. This is where I create the videos. And then outside you can see the big tent that they put up today. So it's going to be magical out there. And my husband's been really sprucing up the yard. It's beautiful. And this is his side. His is a little messier than mine at the moment. But we're not tidy people. We work a lot in our home, and so our home, it's just where we work. There's Samwise in his chair. These are some big prints that were in the window of the gallery from my last exhibition. These are works that I made that were in that show. It's kind of fun. So we collect old typewriters. We have them all over the house, and we use them. When I write poetry, I write with a typewriter. And this is my altar, sort of my little sacred space. Yeah, and I'll take you in here. So this is our bathroom. I'm only showing you this because this is a portrait I did of my daughter in her wedding dress. It's called Moonflower. I don't know if you can see it better with this door shut. It's charcoal. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things I ever did. And I have some art from friends. Another piece of art from my friend Sean Wentucky. Beautiful oil painting of a local area that I love. And this is my kitchen, which is just a regular old kitchen. Never really done anything to it. I'm going to make lentils for dinner. I have dirty dishes. And we have lots of tomatoes coming ripe in our garden. So this is our kitchen. These are my little paintings from my friend Lynn Hoppy that she sends me. And this is our other area. This is my husband's other desk. And we're usually here in the mornings because it's cozy. And there's Ralphie on one chair. We have that chair there for Ralphie to sit next to him, so he doesn't sit on the desk. And there's Coraline. This is my reading chair and all my books. And more books. We have a lot of books. Our guitar collection. More typewriters. These are all my knitting books. And then this is our cozy room. We spend a lot of time here in the winter with the fireplace. So it's cozy. Another writing desk. My son's upright bass. He's a musician. And then more books. We have a lot of books. So yeah, that's my house. Yeah, so I'm going to go in the other room and get set up and do our lesson. Okay, so here I am and ready to do our dandelion lesson for today. And thank you all for your sweet messages about taking the week off. But I really want to do this. It's important to me, so here I am. Anyways, today, instead of pulling a card, I opened this book to a page, just randomly opened it to a page. And this book was, I was introduced to this book by my dear friend Barb Faust, who you might know here on Patreon, our friend Barb. And it's called Things That Join the Sea and the Sky, Field Notes on Living, and it's by Mark Nepo. And it is spectacular. I just love it. It's become a really important book to me, and I highly recommend it. And if you're not familiar with Mark Nepo's books, they're all wonderful. I have several, and they're all different, but they all are his insights and poetry on his life and life in general, his philosophy. And he is a cancer survivor, like me and like Barb. And so his writings are really special to me. And the page that I turned to was here, and it says Small Messengers. It's page 80. And I want to read it to you. Small messengers. The eyes of the snow monkey, neck high in water, are enough to make me believe in reincarnation. They are tender and accepting, as if 100 sages incarnated behind those eyes. His soft stare jars me from the small perspective I have clung to, called my life. Suddenly, I realize that we are small things, whose burdens swell from thinking we are big. Sensitive things, whose pain increases for thinking we need to thicken our skin. Oh, God sends small messengers to peel us open. I would laugh if I were not so thoroughly thrown from the horse of all that I know. Is what we go through put in our way to reduce us to what we truly are? And what is that? Are we grains of spirit put here to pollinate each other? Briefly, before life burns up the message, I can see that all my experience, my struggle with identity, with being loved and loving, my struggle with beauty and pain, all of it disrupts my conclusions like pebbles of light dropped into the lake of my mind. So it's really beautiful. I've read this one before, and the thought that we are really very small, and that our troubles and our strife and our pain and our discomfort and also our joys and the beauty that we see and all of those things are small. They're they're small, and yet they're also infinite. And I think it's interesting when we have these little epiphanies like he had in this moment when he saw the snow monkey, and he saw this deep knowing in the snow monkey's eyes that we are surrounded by life, by trees and plants and insects and animals and birds and flowers and the land and the earth and the rocks and the water and all of those things, the fishes and the whales and the dolphins and the sun and the moon and the stars, and all of those things are just as meaningful as human life. That's kind of what I took out from this paragraph. But I think that the line that struck me most is, are we grains of spirit put here to pollinate each other? And I love that thought, and I don't know exactly what it means, but maybe it's something we can explore in our discussion. Are we grains of spirit put here to pollinate each other? I love that idea, and I think that's what we do here. We are grains of spirit that support one another and encourage one another and inspire one another and share with one another and lift each other up. I love that idea. And we pollinate each other. Isn't that just wonderful, to help each other ease ourselves into bloom and into fruition in our lives? So I want to take that line, are we grains of spirit put here to pollinate each other? And also this light of like pebbles of light dropped into the lake of my mind. And I want to paint with that in mind. And so what I've gathered here, I have a Strathmore watercolor postcard and my glass of water. And I just have this Chinese brush with sort of a short tip to give me a little more control. And I have these 2 boxes of paints that I just received from my friend Christina Mazzoni. We've been friends for a while, and we actually met on Instagram. We've never actually met in life, although she lives in the same town as my brother-in-law. And so the next time we are there visiting him, I'm going to meet Christina. And Christina is a watercolor painter that makes beautiful, loose, expressive, glowing, colorful works of art. And she recently started making paint. And she sent me, I got these 2 tins from her of paints, and I want to show you. So this is called the Roman palette, and it has, she sent me 2 extra colors. So this one's called Marble, and this one's called Blue Beast. But it also has Lemon Rock, Firestone, Pozzuoli, Verde, and Verdino, and Space. Okay, so there's 8 colors here, and they're really beautiful and unusual to put together in a palette. I just love them. And then I also have this little collection of metallics that she created from real materials. So it's real copper, it's not mica, real brass, then slate, and then this one is made with mica. It's called Wisteria. And so what I thought I would do is I thought I would think about these colors as, I want to read that again, as grains of spirit put here to pollinate each other, okay? And what I'm going to do, and this is something that I often do, and so this is a tool for you to try. So when you receive new paints or you have a collection of paints in front of you, I always like to make color charts. But I also like to make this exercise that I'm going to share with you now, because what it does is it shows me the whole palette, how it works together, and how all of the colors represent in one space, okay? And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to march across these pans and pick up one color after another, and all I'm going to do is start at the top and make stripes, okay? One on top of the other, but as I do it, I'm going to mix in some of the metallics. I'm going to spray these too, just so they're ready for me when I... So I'm going to just make these stripes of the color, rinse my brush, and then pick up the next color and let them touch and mix and mingle with one another. Okay, so I'm going to turn on some music and just continue this exercise so you can see how it works. I started by just putting the colors down as they appeared in the palette, interspersing some of the metallics, and then I just started using them randomly. And now I'm going to take my brush with some water and drop in water like pebbles of light dropped into the lake of my mind. And then I'm going to pick up some of the copper and drop it in. And then a little bit of the wisteria, just because. There. I think I'll finish the top with some brass. There. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, what a beautiful gift to give someone with a note on the back. And so I think what this represents, for me, when I do this exercise, it gives me a picture, a feeling of this palette or of the colors that I'm choosing. Let's say I'm doing a landscape and I'm looking at my paints, I'm saying, what colors do I want to use? Often I will do this exercise to see how they all feel together, the harmony that they create. And this is a really beautiful palette. It has, to me, it's very earthy, but it also has that fire in it. It has all of the elements, really. It's got water and fire and earth and air, and metal. It's just really gorgeous. So all of those elements are represented. So that's the exercise. It's very simple. So you're just basically making stripes of color and letting them sort of whoosh together as you bring them down the paper. And then when it dries, you can either you could draw something on it, or you could turn it over and write a note to someone special. So that is the exercise that I wanted to share with you today. And just the thoughts that Mark Nepo has for us in this book. Again, the book is called Things That Join the Sea and the Sky. So if you're looking for a really good book, this is the kind of book that you keep around forever, and you just dip into it now and then for inspiration and just some searching. When we're doing some searching, we can often find jumping points for our thoughts in books like this. I really love it. So thank you to Barb for that. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll try this exercise with one of your palettes. Handmade paints, like Christina's, are the perfect thing to use for this, but also any paints that you have. Again, remember I showed you these inexpensive paints that I use in my studio, my teaching studio. And these are also really fun to try with something like this. It would be beautiful. And you could even take a section, maybe just these, or maybe just this section, or maybe just this section, and drop in some metallics with it and see what you think. So it doesn't really matter what paints you have, but just choose some and see how they look together. And then share them with us. I would love to see what you come up with. So thank you very much, and I will be back tomorrow with a graphite techniques video. And I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much. Take care.